Lucid's mission is to inspire the adoption of sustainable transportation by creating captivating luxury electric vehicles centered around the human experience. What will this company really be worth? Can it differentiate itself from the competition? And what will they be worth? Welcome back to NewVehicleMedia, the channel that has all the updates on Lucid Motors, CCIV, and other EV stocks. Subscribing is free, and liking the video helps to boost the algorithm. Feel free to express yourself in the comment section. Lucid is known by many as a large-cap electric vehicle company. However, it is actually more than that and possesses several key competitive advantages. Today, we like to identify these key factors and how they identify Lucid as a brand. The path to a $1 trillion valuation is long, but the company has a massive growth runway that could quite conceivably make it a mega cap stock and eventually even approach a valuation of $1 trillion. Here are a few reasons why it could successfully achieve that valuation. Electric is the future. Lucid is a majority designer in the high-tech battery solutions. The company is leading the industry with their longest range batteries. Through years of research and experience in the Formula E, and by using modern big data technology to analyze over 20 million miles of real-world driving data, they have improved their battery system reliably and performance across all projects. Through this, they have accumulated over 50 patents in the United States alone. Lucid also has a strong foothold on autonomous mobility technology. Given that the mobility industry is becoming increasingly software-driven, its intellectual property portfolio here is important as well. Even more important though is its competitive positioning to emerge as a long-term leader in the electric vehicle. Lucid started with an open-source Android automotive operating system and built out the apps and other features from there. Android Automotive OS is modeled after Google's Android open-source mobile operating system that runs on Linux. Google has offered an open-source version of this OS to automakers for some time. In recent years, automakers have worked with Google to natively build an Android OS that is embedded with all the Google apps and services, such as Google Assistant, Google Maps, and the Google Play Store. Lucid did not take the Google Services platform out. From here, Lucid worked with various third-party apps and integrated them into the infotainment system. A list that currently includes iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Pocket Casts, Dolby Atmos, Tidal, and Spotify. Lucid has also decided to make Alexa the default and primary integrated voice control system. Lucid Air will also come with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, apps that run on the user's phone and wirelessly communicate with the vehicle's infotainment system. This means the driver or passenger can access Google Assistant and Siri through these apps. They just won't be able to control the vehicle functions like climate. The vehicle will also have integrated mobile and Wi-Fi connectivity, which will allow Lucid to update the software of the vehicle wirelessly. The over-the-air update capability lets the company add new apps and services. Production expansion. While the company says the Arizona facility already has the capacity to produce 30,000 vehicles per year, investors should remember that building cars, particularly during the early stages of production, is very difficult. We are pro-Lucid and believe the company is guided by a strong and skilled leadership team. But let's not forget that Tesla CEO Elon Musk described his company as being in production hell when it was in the early months of manufacturing its Model 3 in 2017. And that period occurred after Tesla had about 10 years of vehicle production experience under its belt. If a company like Tesla suffered through ramp-up problems on a new model even after it had built several vehicles, Lucid Motors might also have some growing pains in the first year or more of production of its first model. Lucid says that it will continue expanding its Arizona factory. In their most recent investors presentation, they stated to accelerate additional manufacturing capacity for the Air model to fulfill the expected demand, plus expansion for the upcoming Gravity General Assembly line. By expanding the facility with 2.7 million square feet, they will increase production capacity up to 53,000 vehicles per year, which will also improve production flexibility between their models. Global availability. Lucid is getting ready to expand its sales into global markets. Earlier this year, they registered the enterprise in Europa. Through 2 registrations in the Netherlands, the company will start selling their cars in multiple European markets. Given the geopolitical tensions with the United States at the moment, as well as Tesla's dominance in the US electric vehicle market, Europe seems like a much more logical choice to begin global expansion. Most recently, they also opened their bookings for Saudi Arabia, which is no surprise since the company is financially backed by the Public Investment Fund. The numbers. The company expects to consistently generate a gross profit, averaging about 22% from 2023 through 2026. To put this in perspective, consider that over the past 5 years, Tesla has reported an average gross margin of 19.7%. Profitability on an earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization basis, on the other hand, isn't expected to occur until 2024. If Lucid meets its revenue and forecast in 2026, it'll generate a margin of about 12.7%, comparable to the 13% margin that Tesla has reporting on a trailing 12-month basis. In terms of cash flow, Lucid expects that it will allocate $1.9 billion for capital expenditures, CapEx, in 2023, the highest amount over the next 5 years, presumably to prepare for the production of its SUV that's planned for that year. Over the next several years, CapEx spending is expected to taper off, ending with the company spending $573 million on CapEx in 2026. Consequently, Lucid projects generated $1.52 billion in free cash flow in 2026. If we again assume that the company meets its revenue forecast, it will translate to a free cash flow margin of 6.7%, the same margin that Tesla has reported over the past 12 months. The revenue and delivery forecast from Lucid Motors illustrated explosive performance over the next 5 years. According to Lucid Motors, the company expects to generate $2.2 billion in 2022 and $5.5 billion in 2023. Looking further ahead, Lucid expects to generate $22.7 billion by 2026, which is a translation of 251,000 vehicle deliveries. In addition, the company expects to turn over $592 million in EBITDA by 2024. With such impressive numbers, it is worth noting that these forecasts are based off certain variables which may differ over time. Next to that, whilst in between then and now, numbers have varied in the media. The company has not updated their forecast since May this year. The recently published investors presentation has the same numbers. Firstly, there is a lot of competition out there, both foreign and domestic. Lucid is a startup and often compared to Tesla. Tesla has a large presence in multiple regions and has already built a strong cult following. Other startups like NIO have been delivering vehicles already and seem to have the support of the Chinese people and governments. With the rise of EV adoption in China, NIO has a strong advantage. With their expansion to Europe, the Chinese have a competitive standing in the market. Next to NIO as a competitor, Europe is known for having legacy car makers who are currently all investing in electric innovation. Lucid aims to differentiate themselves by focusing on the luxury car market, making their cars exclusive, which results in a narrowed down target group of potential buyers. A strategy that is somewhat risky, but has been proven to work for other brands and industries. Conclusion: Lucid is about to flip a page and start writing a new chapter soon. Their merger will boost the company and supply the financial needs to get the first vehicles on the road. The valuation is sky high, which makes several investors back away. It is all very speculative, but it is feasible for the company to reach a $1 trillion valuation. Will this happen anytime soon? Well, as mentioned before, we are strong supporters of the manufacturers. Upcoming period will prove that if they can live up to their promises. Can they produce the amount of vehicles as claimed? Will they be able to scale production up to the level needed? And once they do, how will the cars be adopted by the public? Many variables will determine the value of the company and its stock. Upcoming period is very exciting for believers and investors in Lucid. We cannot wait to see the first vehicles to be delivered. Jeffrey's main reason to invest in Lucid is the connection of the Saudis. Are you invested in Lucid? If yes, what is your main reason? Do you think Lucid will hit that $1 trillion valuation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Also, please be reminded that subscribing is free and can be reversed at any given moment. Liking helps to boost the personal algorithm, and comments are simply loved by us. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the next one.